When someone you trusted breaks your heart through betrayal, when the person you believed in shows their true colors, when the mask falls and reveals the darkness they carried all along, there is an ancient wisdom that can save your soul from drowning in bitterness. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor who ruled Rome with both sword and wisdom, understood something profound about human nature and the art of maintaining inner peace when outer chaos strikes. He knew that betrayal is not just an attack on your trust, it is an assault on your very sense of reality, your ability to believe in goodness, your faith in human connection itself. The pain of betrayal cuts deeper than any physical wound because it strikes at the core of who you are. It makes you question not just the person who hurt you, but your own judgment, your own worth, your own ability to read people correctly. You replay every conversation, every moment, every sign you might have missed. You wonder how you could have been so blind, so naive, so foolish to believe in someone who was playing a game you didn't even know existed. The anger burns in your chest like fire, the hurt feels like a weight that makes it hard to breathe, and the disappointment tastes bitter in your mouth every time you remember what they did. But Marcus Aurelius would tell you this: the betrayal reveals nothing about your character and everything about theirs. The moment someone chooses to deceive you, to manipulate your trust, to use your love against you, they have shown you exactly who they are beneath the surface. They have given you a gift wrapped in pain, the gift of clarity. Because now you know. Now you can see what was hidden. Now you understand what you were dealing with all along. The betrayal is not your failure, it is their revelation. You see, there are people in this world who carry darkness so deep within them that they cannot tolerate authentic light in others. Your genuineness threatens them because it reminds them of what they have chosen to abandon. Your capacity for trust makes them uncomfortable because it highlights their own inability to be trustworthy. Your willingness to love openly exposes their own emotional poverty. And so they respond not with admiration for your character, but with a desire to prove that your goodness is just naivety, that your trust is just weakness, that your love is just stupidity. When someone betrays you, they are not teaching you that trust is dangerous. They are teaching you that they were never worthy of the trust you gave them. There is a difference between learning to be more discerning and learning to be more closed. Marcus Aurelius understood this distinction perfectly. He wrote in his Meditations that we should expect people to act according to their nature, not according to our hopes for them. This doesn't mean we become cynical or hardened. It means we become realistic about who people show themselves to be through their actions, not their words. The ancient strategy that Marcus Aurelius used when faced with betrayal was not revenge, not bitterness, not allowing the darkness of others to infect his own spirit. His strategy was dignity. Dignity is the decision to remain who you are regardless of how others choose to behave. It is the commitment to your own character even when others abandon theirs. It is the understanding that your response to betrayal will define you more than the betrayal itself ever could. When someone shows you their true nature through betrayal, your first instinct might be to match their energy, to sink to their level, to prove that you can play their game better than they can. But this is exactly what they want. They want to drag you down into their spiritual darkness. They want to corrupt your light with their shadows. They want to make you as small and bitter and twisted as they have become. When you choose revenge, you are giving them exactly what they hoped for, proof that your goodness was just a performance, that deep down you are just as dark as they are. But dignity says no. Dignity says I will not let your choices determine my character. Dignity says I will not allow your betrayal to turn me into someone I don't recognize. Dignity says I will grieve this loss, I will feel this pain, I will acknowledge this hurt, but I will not let it change the essence of who I am. Because your betrayal is about you, not about me. Your inability to honor trust says nothing about my ability to give it. Your decision to deceive reveals your character, not mine. Marcus Aurelius taught that we cannot control the actions of others, but we have complete control over our response to those actions. This is where our true power lies, not in changing people who don't want to change, not in forcing loyalty from those who have chosen disloyalty, but in choosing how we will carry ourselves when tested by the darkness in others. Every betrayal is a test, not of your ability to avoid being hurt, but of your ability to remain yourself when someone else has lost their way. The dignity response to betrayal looks like this: you acknowledge what happened without minimizing it or making excuses for them. You feel your feelings fully without letting them consume you. You set boundaries to protect yourself without seeking to punish them. You learn from the experience without closing your heart to future connections. You remove them from your life if necessary without making it a dramatic production. You wish them well from a distance without pretending the relationship can continue as it was. This is not weakness. This is the highest form of strength. Because it takes no strength at all to become bitter when someone hurts you. It takes no courage to seek revenge when someone betrays you. It takes no wisdom to close your heart when someone breaks it. But it takes tremendous strength to remain open after being wounded. It takes incredible courage to continue trusting your own judgment after someone proves your trust was misplaced. It takes profound wisdom to separate the actions of one person from your faith in humanity itself. When you choose dignity over revenge, you are not letting them off the hook, you are freeing yourself from the hook. Revenge keeps you energetically connected to the person who hurt you. Every moment you spend plotting their downfall, every ounce of energy you invest in making them pay, every thought you give to proving they were wrong to betray you, is energy stolen from your own healing, your own growth, your own peace. Dignity cuts the cord cleanly. It says this person made their choice, now I will make mine, and my choice is to remain aligned with my own values regardless of their alignment with theirs. Marcus Aurelius knew that the quality of your life is determined not by what happens to you, but by how you respond to what happens to you. Betrayal will happen because not everyone has the same relationship with truth, loyalty, and integrity that you do. But your response to betrayal will determine whether it becomes a wound that festers or a scar that strengthens you. When you choose dignity, you transform the betrayal from something that was done to you into something that revealed your own character more clearly. There is something beautiful that happens when you respond to betrayal with dignity. You discover strength you didn't know you had. You find peace in places you thought were only meant for pain. You realize that your worth was never dependent on their recognition of it. You understand that your ability to love was never diminished by their inability to receive it properly. You see that your capacity for trust is actually one of your greatest strengths, not a weakness to be ashamed of. The person who betrayed you may never understand the gift they gave you when they showed you their true nature. They may never recognize that their betrayal was actually protection, saving you from investing more time, more energy, more love in someone who was never capable of honoring it. They may never realize that by leaving, by breaking trust, by revealing their darkness, they made space in your life for someone who is worthy of the light you carry. But you will understand. In time, when the immediate pain of betrayal fades, when your heart heals and your trust rebuilds, when you look back on this experience from a place of wisdom rather than wounds, you will see that their betrayal was not the end of your story, it was the beginning of a new chapter. A chapter where you learn to trust yourself more deeply, to set boundaries more clearly, to recognize red flags more quickly, to value your own peace more highly. Marcus Aurelius believed that everything that happens to us contains within it the seeds of our own growth, even the painful things, especially the painful things. Betrayal teaches us discernment without cynicism. It shows us the difference between being naive and being open-hearted. It reveals that some people are not ready for the level of authenticity we bring, and that is information we can use to make better choices about who we allow into our inner circle. When someone betrays you, they are doing you a favor even though it doesn't feel like it at the time. They are showing you exactly who they are so you can make informed decisions about how much access to give them to your heart, your mind, your energy, your future. The betrayal is painful, but remaining connected to someone who operates from deception, manipulation, and spiritual darkness would be even more painful in the long run. Your dignity is your declaration that you refuse to be defined by the worst thing someone else has done to you. It is your commitment to remaining who you are even when others lose themselves. It is your understanding that your character is not conditional on how others treat you, it is a choice you make again and again regardless of circumstances. When you choose dignity in response to betrayal, you are choosing yourself over the story they tried to write about you. You are choosing your truth over their lies. You are choosing your light over their darkness. This ancient strategy of dignity has stood the test of time because it works not just to preserve your character, but to reclaim your power. When you respond to betrayal with dignity, you show the universe and yourself that you are not a victim of other people's choices, you are the author of your own response. You demonstrate that your peace is not dependent on their behavior, your joy is not contingent on their loyalty, your worth is not determined by their recognition. The most powerful revenge against someone who betrayed you is becoming so much more yourself, so much more aligned with your values, so much more at peace with your choices, that their absence becomes a blessing rather than a loss. When you choose dignity, you choose evolution over stagnation, growth over bitterness, freedom over bondage to the past. And in making that choice, you honor not just yourself, but every person who has ever been betrayed and wondered if they would survive it. You become living proof that dignity always triumphs over darkness, that character always outlasts betrayal, that light always overcomes shadow when we have the courage to keep shining.